Happy Friday, newsies. It is I, Becca Lori Hector, here with your next installment of Neurodiversity Newsstand. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Please take a minute to subscribe below. This is where I give you guys the summary of the neurodiversity news in a nutshell right here on Neurodiversity Newsstand, the vlog. Right? And this news, it comes to us through Neurodiversity Newsstand, the groups, which I have on LinkedIn and Facebook, and these are our most talked about articles of the week. So if you haven't had a chance to read everything, you don't have to. Now you can get a summary and all the links right here, because anything I talk about has a link right below in the description. No need to go very far, right? If you're returning to the channel, welcome back, you guys. I love my newsies. I love having you guys come hang out. I love spending a little bit of time updating each other on what's going on like out in the world, right? And I love giving you a little summary, so you're still up to date even if you haven't had a chance to read stuff. So before we get on to the news, which I do have for you guys over here, we had a kind of nice news week this week. But before I get there, I have to say, I am so tired. I feel like I come to you every Friday and talk to you about how tired I am. But this Friday, I am special tired, right? Because this week, on Wednesday, I finally unveiled Unit 1 of my 3-unit virtual course, Self-Defined Living, A Path to a Quality Autistic Life. And it went amazing. I got such good feedback. I was so excited to have you guys there. I had over 20 seats sponsored in the website, in the webinar rather, and I'm so excited for that. It was such a good feeling to be able to pass that along to people. Other people's generosity. So thank you to my sponsors. I appreciate it so, so much. And what else do I have to talk about? Oh, Unit 2. And then, of course, now I'm like, Unit 1's over. I can breathe for like 5 minutes because Unit 2 is coming, you guys. Unit 2 comes on August 5th. If you missed Unit 1, fear not. You can catch the replay. It'll be available for purchase on my website starting next week. You can catch up with Unit 1 and then catch us live for Unit 2. So we can do Unit 2 together, right? Have a look at it. I'm excited. Everyone who came loved it. I'm thrilled with how it went for a first time go. I know I could always be adding and growing and changing because that's who I am as a person. But I was really pleased with how it went. And me being pleased with it, I guess, is the most I can ask out of it. You know, I can't ask for much more than that. So thank you to those of you who supported me, those of you who continue to support me. I appreciate it. But I am now tired. Now I just want to like take a nap for a day. So that's probably what I'm going to do this weekend. Before I can do any of that though, I must bring you the news. So here we go. This week, it continues here in the States. I don't know how much is getting through globally, but here in the States, we are full on here about finally getting rid of the latent racism that is going on in this country, and really dealing with it head on with a lot of vocal stuff, which means our news has basically been hijacked by everything like that. But some really good things have come out of it, I think. There's an awareness spreading. And ways that you can, other ways besides just rioting and shouting in the streets, that you can talk about these issues that we're passionate about, right? And we can really move to change the world. So though I don't have any news on that pertains to neurodiversity, I know it's something that we're all thinking about here in the States as human beings. And I know our empathic autistics are definitely feeling it. So I'm sure there are some of you out there globally that are also really feeling it, right? And I don't want us to feel paralyzed about stuff that really touches us, right? Negative, positive. I don't want us to feel ashamed of that feeling, right? Of being touched by something. And instead, I want us to feel empowered about that and figure out what we can do. So what I'm starting off the news with this week is 2 different articles that empower Black disabled voices, right? First of all, in Amplify Black Disabled Voices was an article as part of a series on Disability Horizons. It was an article called 8 Influential Black Women with Disabilities to Follow. I'm going to share that with you guys. Here's 8 Black women of color who are disabled and who are also doing amazing things with their life that you can go ahead and follow and support the strengthening of their voice. right? So that's something you can do positive. The next article I'm sharing is from Nylon Magazine, actually. And it's a nice article on where to donate to help Black people with disabilities, right? So rather than just, I can't maybe physically participate in some of these walks, but I can certainly donate to organizations like that, or I can do a fundraiser for them, right? Which doesn't cost me anything. But it does get the money to the organizations that are doing something about the people of color in the disabled community. And I think last week I talked about the People of Color Fund that Autistic Women and Non-Binary Network has. This week I'm sharing these things with you. Know that it is normal to get upset about this stuff. This is the kind of stuff that you should get upset about. It shows your humanness. It shows you care. It shows our empathic nature. It shows our sensitivity, right? All of that. And so you should be getting upset about it. But what you shouldn't do is get yourself paralyzed over it, right? So here are some really effective things you can do to impact what's going on and to make a statement about how you feel about what's going on, right? Without wasting all of your spoons on that. So that's how I'm starting out today, because I am, as you can hear, I'm sort of passionate about it. I don't talk about it a lot on social media. I talk to you a lot about how I try not to share negativity and stuff like that. And so I try to be a place where people can take a break from that stuff. Excuse me. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So this is, I feel like, some positive stuff that you can do. It's stuff that I'm doing, and I think it's stuff that you can do. We can amplify that voice. That's what we can do. It's exactly what we ask our allies to do in the autism community. Please amplify the autistic voice. Well, you should be really all about amplifying the people of color right now, and all about sharing their blogs, sharing their thoughts, making their voices bigger, and supporting the organizations that support them. You know what I mean? That's something that we have control over and something that we can do. It's some of the change in our output that we can do, right? It's something in your output that you can put out into the world that is a way of acknowledging what's going on and acknowledging your feelings about it without being part of any kind of toxic go back and forths that happen on the internet, right? Yeah. So moving on from that, I'm also going to move on to some bad news, good news case, right? We thank you all to everybody who shared this. I shared it, and I shared it in Newsstand and on my personal, and a bunch of you shared it. We had the FBI had done a really like a national call for this kid. He was missing from Mississippi. His name is Nathan Alexander Covarrubias. And he was missing from his boarding school, actually, in Mississippi. Has autism, has bipolar, and nobody could find him. And the FBI said he had 7 days to travel anywhere, which is scary. Nobody knew where he was going, anything. But thank you to everybody who shared, myself included, all of you who shared it from me and other sources. He was found. Which is amazing. I'm so excited for him. They didn't give really details on how he was found or where he was found, but he was found. And it's because all of us in our community continue to share when our folks go missing and things like that. And this was a big national case here in the United States. So thank you to everybody who shared and helped to get that boy home. So bad news, good news, right? Awesome. Moving along. Spectrum gives us an article this week that is finally worth reading. Yay! It is called Meet the Autistic Scientists Redefining Autism Research. Woot! Yes, we too have autistic scientists, and they also want to do autism research, and they want the research to be different. Yay! More focused on services, supports, quality of life, stuff like that. Highlighted a lot of newsies for us. Damian Milton, Dora Raymaker, Christina Nicolaitis, Jack DeHaunting. All of you guys were mentioned in this article. All of them newsies. So excited to share this article with you guys. Please take a look. Please take the time to share. It is definitely Pride Month. And if you want to share your autistic pride, be proud of our autistic scientists and share it, right? I was so excited about this article. Can you tell? I'm a little bit of a science nerd, and I really geek off on all of our autism researchers. They're the ones I have my celeb crushes on. So whatever. Okay. Anyway, exciting for me. I hope you find it exciting too. Please have a look. It's of course going to be in the description. Next up, out of Autism, the journal Autism. They gave us Atypical social communication is associated with positive initial impressions among peers with ASD. Please translate, Becca. Please tell me what that huge giant title means. No problem, guys. So basically, this is a case of fancy words, research, right? Here we go. These guys basically did research and found that the atypical social communication that autistics behave, or that autistics communicate like, I don't know what word, adjective, what verb to use there, whatever. But however it is that we communicate our atypical communication, though neurotypicals have a negative initial response to it, our fellow autistics have a positive response to it. Shocker there, guys. When we talk to each other, we don't go, ooh, you're so weird. All right, a little bit of duh. Now we've got the science behind it. Maybe we're making headway. Let's see. But take a look at that. I was excited to see that little article out. Next up, this one was actually really popular, you guys, and I was excited to see how popular it was, because it talks about kiddos, but it's about adult-sized stuff with kiddos. And we were all really keen to share it because I think a lot of us experienced it. So it was from the Autistic Empath, and it was called How Not to Gaslight an Autistic Child, right? And we talk about gaslighting. I talk about it often. It's one of the abuse tactics that a lot of toxic people like to use, and for some reason, I don't know why, maybe because everyone tells us that we're broken, we fall for it all the time. And it's like people who use the gaslighting technique, for some reason, pick us out. They like to pick us out. We don't like it. And that's because gaslighting is lying, essentially. Gaslighting is twisting the truth or the reality so that the victim or the other party in the situation feels as though their reality is not valid, not true, right? So demeaning people's sense of what's real in their lives, right? And it's a tactic that people use to make them feel unsettled, to have no self-esteem, things like that. And so we fall for it often. And what happens is kids who don't yet know how to articulate their needs, who don't have that capacity yet, right, are often invalidated or infantilized for the things that they are experiencing, their reality, like their sensory realities, right? And I thought, wow, this is such an important, impactful piece. So important. So shout out to the Autistic Empath. Great piece. Really loved it. Sending you lots of love. I hope you feel it. And I hope you guys take a chance to read this, and please share it if it touches you. Moving along. So here's a piece I'm calling out, and I shared it. And I don't often share from the Mighty. I think we all have mixed feelings about the Mighty and how they sometimes do their titles, things like that. We have issues. But this piece, I felt like, cannot be ignored, right? I think we need to share it. I think we need to talk about it. I shared it, and what do you know? People agreed. So I'm sharing it with you guys from the Mighty. It is called It's Time for the Disability Community to Talk About Our Internalized Ableism, right? So what are the ways that we are unkind to ourselves because of beliefs that society has put into our brains that we now use as our script in talking about ourselves? That's really what internalized ableism is. And if we don't talk about it as a community, we can't address it, right? So it's another way of dealing with the ableism in our lives besides directly dealing with the ableists themselves. All right. Moving along. That's actually it for the news, which is, I know it's quick, but I am, you guys, tired. But it's also, I just want to share with you the good stuff. I don't really want to share willy-nilly things all over, and you know, if we're honest, the news world is a little slow, but I do have more things to share with you. Perhaps not more news, but more things. To begin with, a new book out. It's basically it's a revised version of a book that was out, and also it is for clinicians. So to my clinicians out there, my professionals, this is a clinical book. Autistics, feel free to get it, educate yourselves, but no, it is directed to clinicians. It is called The Oxford Handbook of Autism and Co-Occurring Psychiatric Conditions. Why, Becca, are you telling us about this? Why is it important? Well, first of all, it's really important for clinicians to be up to date on information. And if you're not doing continuing ed clinicians, the least you could do is pick up a book here and there. This is one of them that you should get your hands on. And B, the foreword was actually done by an autistic. What, you say? Yes, I say. John Elder Robison, our very well-standing person in our community, has done the foreword for this clinical book. And I am excited to know that clinicians and the publishers were making an active choice to have the autistic voice included in this clinical manual. So shout out to John Elder Robison, great job. Shout out to the folks that published Oxford Handbook. Clinicians, get your hands on it so you stay up to date. Thank you. Moving along. Shout out goes to today. I am excited about this. Shout out to My Non-Traditional Life. Miriam, congratulations. I'm so excited to give you a shout out. She finally shared her YouTube channel with us in Newsstand, and a whole bunch of us are excited to see it. Miriam does talk about autism sometimes, but she doesn't always on her channel. But she does have a really interesting perspective on things, and I like the way she shares it. So shout out to Miriam of My Non-Traditional Life. Go check out her YouTube channel. Subscribe. She's awesome. Moving on. Barb Cook, another awesome human being coming to us from Australia. She is another amazing person who had a meme come out this week with a wonderful quote about understanding yourself and how the diagnosis kind of lets you understand yourself and what that's like. Really popular, shared all over the place. I want to make sure that you guys see it. So shout out to Barb, shout out to you guys. The meme will be in the description. And last up, I have an event to share with you. This one made me a little bit excited. Not sure excited, good, excited, bad, but I'm excited. So I don't know anything about this group, but still, there's an event going on June 18th, which is Autism Pride Day. Yay, I was right about the date last week. So June 18th is Autism Pride Day, and the Neurodiverse Foundation out of the Netherlands is doing a Neurodiversity Pride Day. So they're not even doing Autism Pride, they're doing Neurodiversity Pride, which I think is dope and very cool to me. So shout out to the Neurodiversity Foundation in the Netherlands on your event coming up on Neurodiverse Pride on June 18th. Woot! That's it for everything. That's all I've got for you this week except for my crap, which you know I always save till the end. So here we are at my stuff. This week had a podcast come out. I went back to Autism Stories with Doug Bletcher. Yet a third time he had me back. I can't even talk to you about how much I love going back there because he asks the best questions. They're not boring. They're always stuff about what you're currently doing and kind of keeping people up to date. He's one of my favorite people to work with. And so shout out to Doug Bletcher and Autism Stories. Thank you for having me a third time to talk about my mindful morning routine. I will give you guys that link. Have a listen to our interview. Have a listen to his other interviews too. He does amazing things. He's always highlighting really cool autistics. So have a look at that. Next up, reminder, you guys, this past week I had Asking Spectrum Women June come out. So once a month I take over the I take over the Spectrum Women Magazine YouTube channel, and I do a monthly Q&A AMA that people send in their questions, and I answer their questions for them right there once a month. So the June installment of Asking Spectrum Women is out now, and I will link you to it below in the description. Then, of course, my little last reminder, you guys, Unit 1 came. It's going to be for sale next week, so you can catch up, because Unit 2 of Self-Defined Living, A Path to a Quality Autistic Life, comes out August 5th, and you have this time to catch up with Unit 1 before we go live with Unit 2, so I hope you'll take advantage of that. If you're interested in sponsoring folks for Unit 2, please email me at info@beccalaurie.com. If you're interested in receiving a scholarship seat for Unit 2, please email me at info@beccalaurie.com. If you want to know more about the webinars, more about the course itself, and the sponsorships, you can head over to my website, beccalaurie.com, Laurie with a Y. You also get my contact page there, as well as all my writing, my social media, and while you're there, you can sign up for my free newsletter, Monthly Musings, which is a motivational newsletter. I do a theme for the month. I send you information on that so you can start to incorporate that theme into your life. So please feel free to head to my website and sign up for that, because it will contain exclusive discounts to my course. And that's it for my selling stuff. That's it for me telling you what I'm out there doing. And that's it for me telling you the news from this week. So you know what that means. It's time for you guys to go and enjoy your weekend. I hope, as always, that you do something amazing. I hope you create joy. I hope you spend time doing your special interest. I hope you get time to nap and quiet time. I hope you have an amaze-balls weekend. I myself am going to be catching up on some relaxing. Maybe I'll get a hike in. But then I'm coming back strong next week to start on the pound for Unit 2, you guys. So share with me what it is you're doing. Share with me what you hated about this one, what you liked about this one. Thumbs down me, thumbs up me. Please let me know how you're feeling. And of course, share your opinions with me. I love that. If you want to reach me directly, you always can via email. But I also read all of your comments wherever you see this video. All right, guys, that's it for me this week. I'm Becca Hector, and I am out of here.